Thank you, Madam Chair and Ranking Member. Thank you for allowing me to wave on to this important hearing today. Dr. Raj Kumar, while there are clear safety benefits from highly automated passenger cars, we also expect to see safety benefits in a variety of other applications. Many of these solutions are years down the road and will require a stable regulatory framework. Dr. Raj Kumar, how important is it that the federal government creates such a framework?
I think it is extremely important. If 50 states in the US basically each has its own regulatory framework, now the developers of the technology, be it a big company or a startup company, cannot deal with that heterogeneity. What should happen instead is that there is a national framework that is enforced by NHTSA / the US DOT, and therefore the technology developers need to develop towards that one single standard and then test against that standard. I think that is at the core of what needs to be done. The US DOT had taken a similar position earlier where the individual states had jurisdiction over licensing, insurance, and the like. But in this particular case, the driver is really not a human, but computer software, and therefore the right to regulate that particular aspect of vehicles lies at the federal level. That being said, the US DOT has been taking the following position where it lets individual states experiment with different processes to help incubate and mature local companies and technologies, try out different processes, but the federal government has retained the right to preempt all those regulations at a future point in time when the processes are well understood, the technology has been proven itself, has proven itself to be safe. So that I think is the right framework to go forward with, a single national framework.
If the federal AV framework currently lacks clear testing requirements and guidelines, do you think drafting these for autonomous vehicle framework, that the principles needed to be included should be outlined in advance? And this is again to Dr. Raj Kumar.
Yes, the guidelines need to be stated, but I think they need to be drafted with inputs from the vehicle makers, with researchers who understand that the pitfalls of the technology, with community organizations, with the workforce and such. And then the other important aspect is that any regulations that we put in place today, if they are set in concrete, they will become outdated a year from now, 18 months from now. So it is important that the regulatory framework gets revisited every so often, like every once a year.
We hear about concerns with driverless cars on the roadways that some manufacturers have made claims about the current existence already of self-driving cars. To me, this sounds like level 5 automated technology, which according to NHTSA is an automated driving system. On these vehicles, can they do all of the driving in all of the circumstances on the road?
Currently, there are no fully autonomous vehicles on the entire planet, period. The only vehicles that consumer can buy today corresponds to level 2, which is far below level 5. In level 2 features, the operator in the vehicle must be paying attention to the vehicle at all times. Even though the vehicle is quote unquote driving itself, it could do something really crazy, something dangerous at any point in time. And it becomes a responsibility of the operator to step in when the vehicle does something bad. So there's a huge chasm between level 2 functionality and level 5. We are many years away from level 5.
Earlier in this hearing, Ranking Member Bilirakis mentioned that it's important, worth repeating this. Dr. Raj Kumar, should the NHTSA hold automakers responsible for misleading claims that create fear among the public about this technology? Clearly, you've stated to us there is a significant difference between level 5 and level 2. Should there be accountability for misleading claims?
I think that NHTSA must take on 2 roles. Number one, educate the public about both the capabilities and the limitations of driving technology, self-driving technology today. Number two, it needs to take a very strong and compelling action against any company out there which misrepresents the capabilities of their level 2 functions. And meanwhile, I think arguing on the side of NHTSA, we need to give them the appropriate resources and human expertise so they can actually manage this process as well.
Thank you for your answer. My time has expired. Again, thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me to participate.